And good morning, everyone. Welcome to This Day.
Good morning. Today is Wednesday, September 4th, and I know we were talking about coconuts earlier, but it's National Macadamia Nut Day.
Yes, I like macadamia
so coconuts, macadamia nuts, they all kind of come from the same place.
Yes, I love macadamia nuts. They're really, especially
and they're actually really good for you, too.
Yes, they are. I like those. Hard to crack, though.
Yes, no, that's true.
Yes, that's very true.
By the cracked ones.
Yeah, by the cracked ones, yes. All right, on our show today, Beth Perrick is going to be here, the board president of GRF. They had their meeting yesterday, a very long meeting. The open meeting was like 4.5 hours. Also, Marcia Milchiker of the South Orange County Community College District, a longtime trustee, and she's going to tell us about a recent trip that they had down to Costa Rica, meaning the college kids, and also I think she went down there as well. We'll bring you a segment from Auto Nation Toyota, and Sean Thomas of our own sports talk show. He's going to drop by and give us a preview of what's coming up on his show and talk about the NFL as well.
All right, we have one meeting today, and that's the Energy Task Force meeting, which will be in the boardroom at 1:30. Okay, so we talked about coconuts and macadamia nuts being from Hawaii. However, macadamia nuts originated in Australia. So delectable macadamia nuts have a creamy, buttery taste that adds a subtle richness to just about anything you add them to. These versatile nuts originated in Australia and were named for the physician and chemist John Macadam, who discovered them, and he was also a doctor, and he was instrumental in the further cultivation of the tree in Australia. Similar to large evergreens, the macadamia tree grows between 30 and 40 feet high. Although they are native to Australia, most of today's world supply is grown in Hawaii. Growers first began cultivating macadamia nuts in Hawaii in 1921, and also they were grown in Indonesia, South Africa, and then of course California cultivated them commercially. Like many nuts, macadamia may be eaten raw or roasted. Bakers particularly like to use them in baked goods such as cookies. They pair exceptionally well with chocolate. Now, since the macadamia nut is nutrient rich, they are known for their health benefits. As with many nuts, macadamia nuts are a valuable source of energy, high in dietary fiber. They are gluten-free, high in monounsaturated fat. They also provide an excellent source of minerals and contain many essential B-complex vitamins, and good for energy as well. Now, the last picture I have, I actually made this when I was in Hawaii because I got the macadamia nuts. Some of my favorite is macadamia nut pancakes. I think I have a picture there. Yeah, yum. Yeah, and bacon. Your favorite. We still haven't had bacon day, but it's coming, Ken. I know it. So anyway, there you go. Macadamia nuts.
That really looks good.
It was delicious, and because you know when you're in Hawaii, everything tastes better.
No, that looks good. And you know, a macadamia nut is a drupe, D-R-U-P-E, and same thing as a peach. So what do? You eat the outside of the peach, where the macadamia nut, you know, one of those photos you showed them cracked open. You don't eat the outside. You don't eat in the middle part. You eat the center. So it would be equivalent of opening up a peach pit, and you know, inside the peach pit you have a little nut, so to speak, of eating that. They're called drupes.
Well, there you go.
There you go. But that looks really good.
You always have something to add. I
want the that looks really good. Pancakes.
I know. I'm sorry I didn't have time to make them for you this morning.
No, that looks. Did you make those?
Yes.
Yes, they look really good.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to give you the good news first. If you look at the weather, you look at Sunday. There's the good news. The morning fog is going to be coming back. The maybe not so good news is that today is going to be very similar to yesterday. A little bit less humidity. I noticed today at our house the humidity was down by about 10% compared to the day before. And then tomorrow and probably Thursday and Friday about the same, hitting about 88 degrees, far less humid. Saturday we start to see a cool off, but then as we get to Sunday we really see that. And it looks like going forward, at least into the early part of next week, we are going to be in that area of 80, 81, 82 or so, the morning fog coming back. So that's really good news. Let's take a look around the area. Very similar to yesterday. Not much difference at all. Everywhere you go, we are in the mid to upper 90s. The beaches, of course, are going to be in the mid 80s. Palm Springs about 111. So again, tomorrow it's probably going to drop, I'd say, by about 4 to 5 degrees. And then as we get to the weekend, drop even more. And then Sunday, we're going to be really nice. and have that little bit of fog left. Probably coming in Saturday night, so that's good news. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Yeah, that looks...
Trust the experts at Universal Carpet for all your flooring needs. Now get 50% off pet stain resistant and hyperallergenic carpet, porcelain tile, wood, laminate, and waterproof flooring, and complete kitchen and bath remodels. Plus get 5 years 0% financing, including free installation and free furniture removal. Our convenient showrooms are just minutes away in Irvine and Huntington Beach, or call 866-402-2747 for our free in-home shopping service. Universal Carpet, the low price leader for over 20 years.
Did you know there are over 400,000 seniors in Orange County today? So where does a senior or family caregiver go for information and resources? You can turn to the Answers Guide, published by the Council on Aging Southern California. Answers is full of articles and resources to help you navigate the aging experience. You can pick up your free copy today at the clubhouse nearest you or at the Social Services Office. The Council on Aging, helping seniors remain healthy, connected, and protected.
Summer is here. Diane's Hallmark has everything you need to make summer cool. From clothing to jewelry to unique one-of-a-kind gifts, Diane's Hallmark is the place to go. Diane's also has a large religious section as well. Come in today to see it all. Diane's Hallmark is located in the Walmart Shopping Center next to Hobby Lobby.
Hey Laguna Woods, it's Ken.
And Lisa.
Did you miss an episode of This Day? Not to worry. Head over to youtube.com and search Village Television.
Here you can find each episode of This Day and other community programs such as Good Day OC, Discovering Laguna Woods, and much more.
Just click the red subscribe button, then click the bell to be emailed every time we upload a video.
Don't miss out.
And subscribe today. With me today is Board President of GRF, Beth Perrick. Great to have you here today.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to be here.
Now, you know, I was even kind of wondering because I thought you'd be sleeping in after yesterday's meeting.
You would think I would. We met from 9:30 in the morning till 5:30 in the afternoon with a half an hour lunch.
Yeah.
It was like, whew, long meeting.
Yeah.
But the agenda was this thick.
Right.
And folks needed to come to the podium and share some ideas with us, and so it just ended up being a really long day. So one of the things I'm going to do this morning is I just picked some things I think you might be interested in. If I went through the whole meeting, we would be here till maybe 5.
All right, so I'll let you get started. You got your list there?
Okay, my list starts out with what my chair remarks were, and I honored all of the folks who live here in Laguna Woods who labored for a lot of years in a career and are retired now, or the folks who live here and are still working.
Right.
So, and laboring. In addition to that, I'd like to honor the staff who just does marvelous work for us, and all the board members. It's amazing the work and the hours that go into working and volunteering for a board, as well as the advisors. And then I just really have to say, going to the volunteer luncheon, attending the volunteer luncheon, and seeing over 500 people attending that luncheon, honoring the volunteers. That's a lot of volunteers that make Laguna Woods Village a wonderful place to live.
Yeah, it's good to have them.
So that's what I started out with. And then it was our VMS report time, and it was kind of a little bit of bittersweet because Lucy Scheinman was the one who gave the VMS report, and she's being termed out. So we will be losing Lucy, and we just honor her, and we're so happy for her service, and we are grateful to her. Then we had the CEO and COO made their reports, and a couple of things that I wanted to pull out and mention to you. Senate Bill 754, Jeff Parker talked about and said that it's working through the legislature, and hopefully it will be passed. And what it contains is an ability to be able to acclaim that folks who are candidates for a board are, if the number of candidates match the openings, then they can acclaim that they are board members, which saves thousands of dollars on our part having to put together an election. Another thing is Gate 4 has reopened, and they're doing an analysis for Gate 11, and by November, we hope that November meeting they'll bring it to the GRF for approval, so that we will then have a gate on Gate 11. We'll have the what's the bars, what's the word?
Oh, you're talking about as you drive through the
everybody out there knows what we're talking about, and we both lost the
crossing.
Word.
Yes.
Right. So then the next thing
we're like, why can't we think of that?
Yes. So then the next thing is on September 13th from 9 till 11 o'clock, the toll road representatives will be here for an activity called Stick and Go, because they've changed from the transponder, the square transponder, to a sticker that goes on your windshield, and they will be here to help folks out. They'll accept your transponder and put your sticker on, and if you're not a member of the toll roads, you'll have an opportunity to join then at that time.
And we're going to have a representative on, I forget which day, I want to say September 9th, but I might be wrong on that, and they're going to talk about this. So I've already gone through this where I live, so I have the sticker. But I have some questions for them about the transponder.
Oh, okay.
You know, and some interesting things on that, because I'm wondering, you know, when you have the transponder, well, if you had a loaner car or you had somebody else maybe visiting, you could give them your transponder and then you would go online and put in their license number and you were good to go. So I'm going to ask them about that now, because
good question.
That was a convenience.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Good question.
I'm going to find out.
Well, I'll be watching.
Okay.
Sure.
And I don't quote me on the day of September 9th. For some reason, I think that, but I'm not 100% sure. But we're going to get them on a few days ahead of time.
Okay. So then the next thing is September 19th from 9 till 12:30 at the PAC. There'll be a program about senior scams, which I think would be really interesting to hear. And of course, both our CEO and when the treasurer gave her report, went through a 2020 business plan, reserve funding plan, and the GRF capital plan, which we've been going through and through and through the budget season, and now this is the last where GRF says amen to it, to the plans. So then, Ken, I just wanted to talk about a couple interesting and informative discussions that went on, and number one is questioning. We have what's called the President's Vice President's meeting once a month, and we've had this for the past at least 4 years.
Okay.
And so this is from each of the boards, from VMS, from the Towers, from United, from Third, and from GRF.
Yeah.
All 5. And we meet and we talk about things just casual.
Right.
You know, what's happening? I've got this concern. What do you think? How do you do this? And really, people are concerned that possibly we're doing financial things or a secret thing, and it is not any of the above. It's like a job alike, and that's the way I explained it. It's a job alike, and all of us who have been in different careers, or just my example was just being a mom and going to the Little League field and talking with the other moms. That's a job alike. What are you doing with your child for da-da-da-da? So we had checked this through with 2 of our lawyers, a lawyer for United, Jeff Beaumont, and for our lawyer, Kelly Richardson, and GRF, and both said, you're fine. That's a good idea to have that meeting. So, and then the next thing that we discussed is Corporation Code 8334, the director's right to access records. And so the question was, what records can we as directors request Does it have to be a completed record? Can it be in draft form? Can it be a working copy? How does that go?
Okay.
So where we are now with that is the lawyer is working on
Okay.
it. It went to the attorney, but it's an excellent question. The next question for discussion was the PAC renovation, Clubhouse 3
Yes.
renovation. And there have been rumors that go all over the place about that. And what happened was when we've been working on this for at least 4 years now. When the architects came back with their study, they gave us 3 different levels. They gave us the Cadillac version, which
Right.
would have cost, I don't know, I've heard several things, but 17, 20 million, whatever. Lots of money, and then middle, and then what you really need to get done. And what we're doing is what you really need to get done. And so what we really need to get done is the safety issues, the rigging on the stage.
Right.
It's just absolutely necessary, and then doing some cosmetics.
Okay.
So just to assure people that is what's happening with the PAC renovation.
Okay.
And
one of the things I wanted to ask about that, because
Sure.
it was brought up, a couple things were brought up. The HVAC system
yes.
was brought up. And also, and I don't know if this is something you're going to be doing in this first round or this phase, of changing the seating, because people are saying we want a little wider seats, more room, that sort of thing. But as someone mentioned, that's not just changing the seating, that's changing a whole lot. I mean, even the way that the incline is and everything else. So is that part in this at this point, or the HVAC system?
Not at this level. And the HVAC is its own deal that's in. It's not a part of this.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's something that we just needed to do.
Right, okay.
It was, if you had the shortened version is the old air conditioning, if the air conditioning was on, it had to be in the whole building,
Right.
the theater part as well as the offices and the lobby. And we didn't need that
Yes.
much. And it was not being efficient, and so we
Okay.
needed to trade that out.
Okay.
So
But that's a different.
it's a different, and looking at the seating and doing some of that work inside the theater part is another section, another level to be addressed at another time.
Okay.
And what we're talking about with the Village Community Fund, and that's the naming group
Right,
that has
yes.
started. Well, we're talking about, and this is years down the line when we will address it, then we could possibly, with seating, be able to fund that by having people donate money for a chair or whatnot.
Okay.
But that's just discussion and on down the line, but I know people are talking about that.
Right, okay.
So that's not in the works. It's basically getting it to be a safe area.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so what is next is, I was so happy that one of the folks came up to the podium to question an item when Diane Phelps presented the treasurer's report and the budget. And she questioned one item of why were we spending money on this. And Diane addressed that, but we were so happy to have that opportunity to be able to say, this is not the time to ask those questions.
Yes.
Your time to ask those questions is, please come to the committee meetings and share your ideas and share your concerns. And that's
Right.
where all the work gets done. You dig into things and you come up with ideas. And and representatives are there from all of the mutuals so that decisions can be made together as a community, and then it comes to the GRF board, and hopefully all the arguing has been done, and then we'll just have our board discuss it and whatever, and then hopefully pass. So I would like to reiterate, if you are interested, please do come to committee meetings, and you can find out on the Globe list the committee meetings for each week. So the next thing I want to talk about is the shared cost task force, and that is something that through the years you wonder, okay, what are they talking about with shared cost and how does that go? So what we did was we decided to have a committee do some research on shared cost.
Right.
And I appointed Diane Phelps as lead of that because she's our treasurer. And her task with her part of that task force is to look for revenue sources. Is there any way that we can make money for GRF, which would help us to not have to raise assessments?
Right.
This year, we're really happy that our portion of assessment is only like $2.60 for GRF and how it's being raised. But we would like to even better that. And so to do that, how can you raise funds? She had a really well-attended brainstorming meeting where people from the community came in and gave their ideas of what we can do. I want to emphasize, we're not selling any property. We are not selling anything. We're seeing what we can do to make money. And we had lots of different, a real variety of ideas.
Right.
I know that the ideas out there got people really worried what is going to happen with our community. Anything that happens, anything that would be done won't happen for several years on the line. But, and the goal would be to make it a better place for our people, not a difficult place. So Diane is in charge of that part of the revenue sharing. And then the other part of that task force, Annette Soul, our first vice president, is in charge of. And what she's doing is she's researching what are shared cost models? What do they look like? Where are they out there in the world? And what is the research on what's good, what's best? How does that work? What has worked with us historically? And how can we look at it today and say, what's the best shared cost model for Laguna Woods Village today?
Okay.
So that is what she's doing. She's doing the model, shared cost model, and Diane is doing the revenue.
Okay.
Increased revenue. So then the next thing that I have for you is Joan Millman and Cindy Whitney are working through Thrive and discussing maybe starting a kindness project. Anaheim, several years ago, under a particular mayor that I do not know his name, started a kindness project and got themselves known as the Kindness City. And so Joan is looking into having him come and speak to us here in Laguna Woods Village and see if there's a way that we could maybe start a kindness project, caring about one another. So that's through Thrive. And a committee report, the committee reports were really interesting, but I'm not going to go through each one of them because it was such a long day. But the security, Don Tibbetts let us know with security that it is so important. If you're going to have a guest overnight, staying overnight, you need to make sure that you check at the gate and get an overnight parking pass that you have. So my last item is, as I'm going to reiterate, please check the Globe, find out about committee meetings, and come and participate in our meetings.
All right. Very good. Good to see you.
It's great to see you, Ken.
Yes, and glad to see that you know, you're moving along with what's needed at the Performing Arts Center.
Yeah.
And you know that well.
I know that well.
Yeah, you know that. But you're keeping it to the point of what do we need right now?
What do we need?
Yes.
Safety-wise, what has to get done?
Yeah, that's true. Good to see you.
Great
Thank
seeing
you very much.
you. Thank
you.
you.
Take care.
Appreciate it.
We'll be back.
When other dealers say no, Capistrano Toyota says, yes, we can. Low payments? Yes, we can. Low financing for all types of credit? Yes, we can. Capistrano Toyota features 10 acres of new and certified pre-owned Toyotas, plus many used cars priced below $10,000. When other dealers say no, Capistrano Toyota says, yes, we can. Exit the 5 freeway at Camino Capistrano.
So, Greg, It's a lot to take in.
And I know that's hard to hear, but the doctors caught it early.
Hi, Blake.
My dad has cancer.
And I know how hard that is to hear. But you're in the right place.
And Dr. Pascal and her team, they know what to do.
They know what to do.
The doctors know what to do.
So here's the plan. First off, we're going to give you all this information.
Hi, it's Desiree from Irvine Subaru, where families come first. As a family-ran dealership, your family's safety is our #1 priority. Come in and find the perfect Subaru from the largest selection of Subarus in Orange County. All models are top safety picks by the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety. We offer the ideal balance of safety, performance, and economy. Irvine Subaru, more Subarus, more safety, more performance, more love.
I need your assistance on this one.
Used to keep it cool.
You did a good job.
Maybe it's time for me to go.
I'm overmatched for the first time since I can remember.
I just need somebody to believe in me.
Who's doing that LA night? Nobody.
I'm a strong believer that there's something for everyone out there. But some people never stop searching. I've looked long and hard through these parts, and I thank my lucky stars I stumbled across a special place, a unique place, where you never know what you'll find. The Trading Post, only on Channel 6.
And I'd like to welcome back today Trustee Marcia Milchiker from, of course, the South Orange County Community College District. Always good to have you on because, you know, you have just so much knowledge and history of this district.
And I'm a very hands-on trustee, so I like to see the classes being taught and visit the emeritus classes. Ever since I was elected, I was a great supporter of the Emeritus Institute, and I've saved it over and over and over again. And now I'm taking classes in the Emeritus Institute.
You are.
So I'm getting benefit from it myself.
Yeah, and so, you know, we've talked about this before. You have sort of, the trustees have sort of a service area, although you're trustees at large, but still, and yours, of course, is South Orange County. And the history that you have with both college campuses, really 3 college campuses. Especially you go back to IVC, you were there when it started, right?
I was first elected when IVC was first founded, and then it was called Saddleback College North, and there was nothing there. There was just a rock on 200 acres in the middle of Irvine, on the corner of Jamboree and, Jeffrey and Irvine Center Drive, not Jamboree, Jeffrey. So right there in the middle of Irvine, and with nothing, very
nothing
flat
else
land.
around there.
And now it's a full service college, and it's the #1 transfer school in the state. So I'm very proud of it. And Saddleback is #5 transfer school in the state. So they're both really top community colleges. Really.
That's amazing. Now we're going to talk about something that the study abroad program, and last time you were on, you were getting ready to go, and this was going down to Costa Rica. It was a 13-day field study program. Tell us all about this, how this works, what the purpose of it. Is it more than just a vacation?
Yeah, it is. Now we're opening up these programs to emeritus students. And on this particular program, not only me as an emeritus student, but there were 2 other women that were emeritus students that went on the program as well. And if students would like to go on some of these trips, they sign up for them. There's a website to go to for all the study abroad trips, and you take classes at Saddleback College and you get college credit. They're not letting you take just emeritus classes, so I took 3 hours of college credits, which is okay. I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, to sign up for college credit. Now, you could take it and get a grade like I did. The 2 other emeritus ladies decided to take it pass, no pass, because they were afraid they weren't going to get a good grade.
Yeah.
I think they would have gotten a good grade, but they felt a lot better doing it. But it's actually a study abroad program. It's actually, you're learning. Well, I'm a biology teacher myself,
Yes,
and I taught biology at Santa Ana College. But I went to this one as a student, and I paid full price. I didn't get a free trip to Costa Rica, and I never do. So you get college credit for it, and it's every day you had to turn into the WhatsApp group for the college the name and common name and scientific name of one species that you see in Costa Rica that you take with your camera. You know, take a picture of it and you post it on the website of the district. And you can see now there's an iguana, there's a tree frog, there's a black grasshopper, there's a millipede. You can tell it's a millipede because there's two legs per each body segment. That's a poison dart frog, and that's I think that's a green tree frog. But anyway, I might.
So is this put on by a certain department?
Yeah, this was put on by Saddleback College Biology Department.
Okay.
And there are two professors, Bruno Passarelli and Marcelo Perez. And the thing is, I think you remember, I got my AA in Spanish at Saddleback College about maybe about 15 years ago, and I said after shaking thousands of students' hands at every commencement, because I've never missed the commencement, I finally got to shake my own hand when I got my AA in Spanish. So they usually go to Brazil, but this time they went.
So this is a yearly?
Yeah,
trip?
yearly,
Okay.
and they're going again next summer. I think it's August the 20th. So if people are interested, and so you do a little worksheet every day, and you do a biology field study trip every day. I mean, you do a field notebook every day. You keep your log in the field notebook, and you learn about the ecosystem in Costa Rica. And in Costa Rica, it's a varied ecosystem. It's you know, along the Pacific coast or along the Atlantic coast by the Caribbean. In the middle, there's Monteverde cloud forest, which is very cool and beautiful, and up in the clouds in the forest. And we saw the Osama bin Laden alligator just up close and personal. And they call him Osama bin Laden alligator because they know he exists, but they hardly ever see him. But we saw him up close and personal. We could practically touch him from our boat, you know. And I'm sorry, it's a crocodile. They only have crocodiles in Costa Rica, and there's 11 different species of crocodiles, and they're pervasive around Costa Rica, and you could see them in many of the waterways. So, you know, before you go swimming, you have to really check it out a bit.
So let me ask you, how many people go to this? How many students?
On this one, there were 13 students and 2 teachers.
Okay.
And
so a small group.
A small group.
You pay one price. It's like
you pay one price.
Everything's included.
And everything was included. The flight to Costa Rica, all of the meals, the airfare, all the transportation all around Costa Rica, which is on buses, you know, because Costa Rica is a small country, and all the meals, and also the activities.
We saw the.
We did zip lining. And that's me zip lining in the Monteverde Cloud Forest, which has 13 zip lining stations where you're way above the forest canopy, way above the trees. Whitewater rafting, that you can see me way in the back there. Whitewater rafting. When we went to the Arenal volcano, we went to the hot springs there. We went kayaking. We went on many different boat rides, and so it was along with being educational, learning about the flora and the fauna and the ecosystems in Costa Rica. We also had a lot of fun. It really was fun.
And so 2 weeks down there.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
And the price was, like you said, $4,000.
It was $4,000.
And you stay in a regular hotel type thing?
Yeah, we stayed in different hotels.
Okay.
You know.
So really, that's not bad, considering how much vacations costs.
Yeah.
You're getting an educational vacation that goes to your college program. I mean, it's
to me, you know,
wonderful.
I'd rather take something educational where I'm learning about the flora and the fauna and I'm learning about the ecosystems than just take a cruise where you're really not learning about anything.
Yeah, I
mean, for
agree.
me, I'm a lifelong learner, so I love taking study abroad trips where I could really learn about the ecosystem, and it's pretty well planned. You know, there was really activities like all day long every day, and there was supposed to be like a day and a half of free time, but the professors decided that since some of the students were as young as high school students, there were a few high school students, at least one, and college students and 3 emeritus students, that they wanted to give us activities all the time, just so people wouldn't not know what to do. So we went for a hike, and we went swimming in this like kind of a pool where they had a waterfall right there at one time, and another time we went into a mud bath. And these were free activities that are included with it.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's not free, you know, but
right, but that's
I think
amazing.
it's a reasonable price. You know, I don't think that they're not making, nobody's making any money on it. You know.
Now you have other ones, and people go to saddleback.edu, and you can find the study abroad programs. But upcoming trips are to Oxford, England, and then to Spain, and so this is something that's done continually.
Yeah, and I also have taken a number of other study abroad trips, but mostly when I was learning Spanish. So I went to Santander, Spain in the summer and stayed there for 5 weeks and lived with a family and learned Spanish. And so, you know, if you really want to learn a language, you can go to Spain and learn a language and stay there, staying with a family, and you know, they make you breakfast and lunch, and then dinner if you'd like it too, and so you could have a learning experience. And like I said, they're having another one of these biology field study trips to Brazil next August. So if you want to wait till next August, you could do this. But you could look on the website and check out the study abroad trips. And I think they're a really good experience, and it's really nice to have students as young as, you know, high school students and emeritus students and a variety of ages, just like the community college. That's what the community colleges are, to educate anyone that could benefit from a community college education.
Yeah.
So to have a variety of ages, a variety of ethnic groups, a variety of people there, and it's fun too. So I agree.
You know,
with it. But as I say, I pay full price for all these trips, so I don't want anyone to think I get free trips, because I don't.
You're going on a great vacation.
Yeah.
But I'm with you in that you learn things.
Yeah,
and something like this, you're not only getting, you're going away, but you're really kind of living how people live down there and seeing things that if you're on a regular vacation type thing, you may not get a chance to ever see or do.
No. One of the things that was kind of incredible was we saw these turtles, these green sea turtles in Tortuguera, which means land of the turtles on the Caribbean side of Costa Rica. We saw them in the middle of the night, because we went in the middle of the night. It was an extra excursion. You didn't have to do it if you didn't want. And you had to walk kind of a long distance and go there in the middle of the night. You weren't allowed to take pictures. We saw these turtles laying 150 eggs, and we were really up close watching the turtles dropping their eggs.
Yeah.
The turtles, they're born and they go back into the water, and then they come back in 25 to 35 years, and they climb back on the sand with their flippers, and they dig a hole, and then they lay their eggs into the sand. And I mean, that experience of seeing that up close, seeing the turtles drop their eggs, is something I'll never forget. And you had to be quiet because you didn't want to scare the turtles.
Right.
And you know, they were very
amazing.
ecologically sound, and they didn't hurt the turtles. They didn't bother the turtles. This is all ecotourism. So people that really want to learn about the plants and animals and don't want to hurt nature at all, want to really just learn about nature and experience it firsthand. So there were some really kind of incredible experiences that I'll just never forget. You know.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So again, you want to learn more on this, you can go to saddleback.edu, and then you can link to it from there. And we want to remind people the fall semester is on right now, but coming in, is it about December, spring semester?
Yeah,
You
spring
can start to
semester
sign
actually
up
starts
for?
in January, and I
Okay.
think you can start to sign up in January, but I think you can sign up a little bit before
Yeah, I
that.
think you can here
I think
for
you can.
emeritus, yeah.
Yeah, and you could, if you, right now we're 3 weeks into the fall semester because it starts, I think, August 19th.
Right.
But if you really want to take a class now, you could look online and find if there's any openings, and then go to the class and go to the teacher and ask to be added. You
Yeah.
can't add yourself. You have to get instructor permission because it's 3 weeks into the class. But many of the classes are still open, and you could ask the professor. Not the most popular classes, but there's some good classes that are still open if you're
Yes.
interested.
All right. Thank you, Marcia.
Okay.
Always good to see you.
Oh, nice to see you, Ken. Thank you so much for having me.
What a great experience you had.
Yeah, it was fabulous. It was wonderful, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you,
And we'll
too.
see you again in
See you next
3 months?
I think so. I hope
you're
so.
about 2
I
or
hope
3
so.
months. All right.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back.
At our new Memorial Wave Imaging Center in Laguna Woods, formerly Orange County Diagnostics, you can expect the same precise imaging, multiple modalities for your imaging needs, and the same friendly staff with medical providers like Dr. Syed Sharakni. The Laguna Woods Transportation Service offers convenient access right to our door, and we continue to provide the care and compassion that you expect from our new Wave Laguna Woods location.
I choose to let someone else do the cooking.
I choose to let someone else do the driving.
Choose to experience the good life at Villa Valencia in Laguna Hills. Call or visit us today.
With me today are the gentlemen from AutoNation Toyota Irvine. We've got Ephraim and Steve here today. And it's warming up, guys, right?
It is.
It is
Yeah.
heating up. I hope everybody out there is staying cool.
Yes. All right. And you know, that kind of pertains to what we're talking about today, because this time of the year, people like to get out, go places, go on vacations, whatever it might be, and making sure your vehicle is in good order. It doesn't matter if your vehicle is 6 months old or 6, 7 years old. You know what? You want to have something that you can rely on. Now, of course, with Toyotas are pretty darn reliable, but still, they need a little maintenance, little checkups, right?
And you know, Ken, to your point, that's a good thing. That's why we offer the pit stop, because people don't bring their car in a lot, right? They're not driving a lot, but when they do want to go out, we offer that pit stop for them to come in. The weather is getting extremely hot. When these people start their cars up now, the bottom line is that they're going to see lights, they're going to see indicator lights and stuff that come on that maybe they haven't seen before.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing if they do see these things, make sure they don't panic, number one. Make sure too, if they do come on, they get themselves to a safe spot where they can pull over. A lot of times if they just restart the cars with the electronics in them, those lights will go out. But it's also a good point to take the car in and have it looked at, just to have it checked to make sure that there isn't a problem with it.
And don't wait for something to happen.
Right. Because if when a battery light comes on, especially with the heat that we have, a lot of what we're seeing right now is a lot of battery indicator lights coming on. And it really doesn't mean the battery's failed, and it really doesn't mean you have an alternator problem. What it is it's a processor's just gotten hot, and so that car just needs to be restarted.
Yeah.
It needs to relearn itself, and you bring it in, and we'll go through the initialization on it, and you're all set and ready to go.
Yeah. It oftentimes isn't something severe. But what we were just reminded of outside by Constance is that something simple like that can create all this anxiety.
Right.
She's like, oh my gosh, is the car going to just stop in the middle of the road? Am I going to be driving and it's just going to leave me right? And instead, you know, if the car is driving safely, get to somewhere safe and then cycle it off and turn it back on. And if the light stays on, drive to our place.
You know, what's different today compared to years ago, he may not remember because he's a young guy.
Oh, come on.
He's a young guy. He's a young guy. But years ago, you didn't know too much what was going on with your car.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that car is monitoring itself constantly. You can imagine if our bodies did that every day, you'd be like, hey, your blood pressure's up, this is down, like that. But the car is, with all the electronics, all the diagnostics is doing this. So we do get more information, but it doesn't mean that the average person really might not know. And you know, one thing I've had even on my car is sometimes the tire pressure.
That's right.
Well, a lot of times it's just because it's cold. During the wintertime, it's going to show it's maybe a bit lower pressure. During the summertime, it might show a little bit higher pressure. So sometimes it's nothing more than it's just the conditions outside.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. You know, so we have a lot of. We had one yesterday where the customer had come in and again, tire light was on, tires down a couple pounds.
Right.
So we go ahead and we'll check that out in our pit stop, make sure that everything's good for the customer and that he's on his way. But with the expanding and contraction and the heat and everything, these low profile, low resistance running tires will actually change tire pressure, and it happens quite often. So we see it happen sometimes every third day on the car. So we have to, you know, give the customer the knowledge and let him know what's going on with the tire.
Right.
And then the variations, as you're talking about, just with the weather, can be 3 to 5 pounds, and we're already going to lose about 2 or 3 pounds minimum a month anyway. And when you don't check it for a couple months, you got to be careful. And that's why, you know, not having that available anymore at the gas station, or even something we're even willing to do, just come in.
Right.
And so that's what I think we always want to remind our local area neighbors, is that that's all we're there for.
Yeah.
Come in and get some help. That's it.
And we, you know, another thing I want to say, and this goes to more of, well, you can help out with this, but you know, your sales staff and all.
Yeah.
When somebody purchases or leases a new Toyota, you know, nowadays, again, compared to years ago, you're going to sit down with them and go through, or you know, a member of your staff, and go through everything. And if somebody doesn't understand something, all the electronics, you know, sometimes there's a little screen where the gauges are, and there could be 10 screens there that show you different things.
True.
And you're like, what am I looking at? How come when I touch this button that changes and things? And
so when they do purchase the car, we go through the car and they do the complete walkthrough.
Yeah.
But you know, the customer's excited. You know, he's got a brand new car. It's information overload. You're looking at a complete computer. I mean, if you look at the CRTs in these new Priuses, they're this big. And when you first hit the power button, they go through all their segments and they do all these things, and you're watching. It's like watching TV. And all of a sudden, it's like it's programming the car to do exactly what it should do, and you forget all that. You change your phone, you have to come in. It has to be paired to your Bluetooth. A lot of people don't know how to do those things.
Right.
And so they lose their contacts, whatever the case may be. That's what we're there for.
Yeah.
So we can do that real quick on the service.
You know what I love? Well, I'm not saying I really love it. Is every car is like this nowadays. You first turn it on and there's the lawyer speak. You know, do not do this while you're driving. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And you're going,
That's
just get to the radio, please. You know, but they have to do that, right?
Don't stare at this while you're driving.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, it's a very good point nowadays compared to you know, before. And you're excited. I don't read manuals. You know, who does?
That's right. And so
most men don't.
Well, so one of the things we always ask is that, hey, let's have that second or third delivery. Come back, you know, a week or two later when you really get the questions or something. You know, nowadays, gosh, even on the way here, everyone seems to be staring at their phone when they're driving. It's so scary. And so when he just mentions come in when you get a new phone, or even when the phone just simply doesn't have that connectivity any longer, come in, because I mean, we shouldn't be looking at our phone, and it's terrible. It's something everyone does. So that's why it's important that everything is working the way it's supposed to on the cars, huh?
Yeah, and if you've got, whenever you hear that sound, it's a pit stop. time.
That's right.
That's exactly right.
That's what that is.
You know, what's that? Whenever you hear a bell, a new angel gets its wings.
That's right.
There you go.
Did you just get your
One
wings?
of my favorite.
I just did, I hope
Hey, quickly, you know,
I love that. That's amazing.
someone gets a new car. Again, years ago, you got that what was called break-in oil and all that kind of stuff. Is that still even a thing now today? Is it, you know, where
It's not a thing.
it's not? Do most use synthetic oil? Yeah.
Most cars all now are 0.20.
Okay.
And some cars now, the newer ones, are even going to 0.16. So there is no 0.16 is almost like water.
Wow.
So there is absolutely no break-in. Low resistance rings, so no carbon. Completely different design internally inside the combustion chamber.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it's true that the manufacturer says that that oil in there is good for 10,000 miles. And although that's true, I'm not one that likes my same oil, especially new, to sit in there that long. That's not me. But remember, it's also about time.
Yes.
So it's 10,000 miles or 6 months, whichever comes first. Something needs to be done on your car. And that's where we're.
So you remember we're talking about oil guys when you and I first got into this, right? It was 3,000 miles.
Yeah, oh sure, that's why I asked that.
And then it went to 5, and everybody was kind of like 5,000 miles.
Right.
And then it went to 7,500, and now it's 10.
Right.
So in 10,000 miles, I mean, you can drive that car a lot of miles before you do change that oil. It's always a good idea. And again, is why we offer the pit stop. Right. Because cars will consume oil. They still do. They will. Yeah. With it, especially being 0.16, 0.20, very thin oil base, the bottom line, even though it's synthetic, they will consume oil. So it's a great idea to get that car and have those fluids checked. Yeah, it's not like, I remember, you used to have break-in oil because you probably remember there might be little deposits that are, first going through the engine and then you want to, I remember back then, it was just like sometimes they go after 1,000 miles or something, we changed that oil. So you're really dating yourself because you're talking cast iron motors and now we're all running aluminum blocks. So yeah, I get you. No such thing as cast iron. What are you talking about? He knows, he's an old car guy, he knows.
Ken, you mentioned something a minute ago, like, you know, either when you come in, someone will help you. No, and this is why we are coming here today, and like we show up most weeks, is that I want them to come and ask for me. When someone comes in, I mean, I'm that point man. I'll guide you in whatever you might need, whether it's the sales or down into service or whatever it might be. Ask for Steve. I'd ask you to ask for me because I have way more time than he does. No, Steve is really, he's just so involved with everything, including all the technicians in the shop. And not just that, but I enjoy the conversation of just connecting with someone and just, you know, everyone's got a story to tell, and that's what I want to hear.
And that's a place you want to be at.
Yeah.
Seriously, especially when you're buying or leasing a new vehicle, a used vehicle, whatever it might be. That's important. They want to feel, no matter what it is, they of course want to be happy with what they get. They want to go away from there going, you know what, that was a nice experience. Those were nice people. It felt like they weren't just pressuring me to buy something. Right. They wanted to connect me with the right product.
Yeah. And so when you were just mentioning a moment ago, I thought you were going to say, because when you come in and see me, and if you have a notion to just get some information, get some, how much would this be, and if I thought about leasing as opposed to buying it, or what, there's several different ways. Not every one way makes sense for everybody. No. Let's print out all those options and choices. Yeah. We'll speak to them and then make sure that we have understanding and then fold them up, put them in your pocket. Sometimes when you're making a decision that big, you need to think about it. Yeah. And that's what's different because most, you know, in the car business and car dealers and hey, let's do it now, and I'm not into that. Because sometimes you got to think about it. And if the light doesn't turn on or something doesn't make sense, then say no. Right. Because it's not about, you know, us doing something that only benefits us. It's got to make sense. Yeah, and so this is the difference between, in my opinion, just neighborhood guys that are just doing the right thing. That's it.
Very good. Always good to see you guys.
Yep. It's great to be here.
And remember, they are just right down the road there, AutoNation Toyota Irvine. Of course, you can go online and find out all kinds of information. You can make a service appointment. You can see what's available on the lot. If you're interested in a new or used vehicle, it's all there. But best of all, go down there. Say hi to these guys. Well, Steve might be a little busy, but you can still wave.
Real quick, just so you know, You don't need an appointment to make that pit stop.
Oh, that's good. That's a really good thing
We
to
have
say.
16 advisors. They all know what to do, how to perform them. So they can just come down. It is literally, we'll have you in and out of there in 15 minutes. It'll take you longer to get there than it will to even do it.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time around. Take care.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
All right. Awesome. Take care. We'll be back.
At the Memorial Care Breast Center, Saddleback, you will always find a friendly face to guide you through your annual mammogram visit. Our staff, dedicated subspecialist breast radiologists, knowledge, and innovative technology await your visit to our center. With the Laguna Woods shuttle service right at our sidewalk, this convenient location offers you quick access for your appointment. You can expect nothing but the best for all your breast health needs at Memorial Care Breast Center, Saddleback.
Welcome back. Well, we've got The Group for you, which is the Friday movie at 2 and 7 p.m. And this is from 1966.
Yes.
And, well, it's based in June of 1933, where 8 young women who are close friends and members of the upper class group at South Tower College graduate and start their adult lives. The film documents the years between their graduation and the beginning of the Second World War in Europe and shows in a serialized style their romances and marriages, their searches for careers, and the meaning in their lives. Wow, way back in 1933.
Yes.
So that stars Candice Bergen, Joan Hackett, Elizabeth Hartman, and Larry Hagman, who was the one and only J.R. Ewing, right?
J.R. Ewing.
Yeah. So that's Friday, and that movie is brought to you by AutoNation.
Yeah, should be a good movie. And want to remind you that we're still going to be hot today, very similar to what we had yesterday. I'm thinking maybe 1 or 2 degrees different, but that's about it. But going forward, we're going to drop it down a bit Thursday and Friday. More so on Saturday, but Sunday's looking good. That fog should come back. I'm hoping maybe it'll sneak in Saturday sometime, maybe Saturday morning, at least Saturday evening, but we'll finally have some cooling. It's been hot and humid for quite a while here, so that's good news.
Not too hot, though.
No. And look at around here, everything in the mid-90s or upper 90s. The beaches, though, about 85, and Arrowhead, the same thing, 85, and Palm Springs, 111.
Well, I hope it's cooler when I go at the end of the month. But we'll never know. Maybe it'll be
You
hotter.
never know.
Okay,
yes.
so, all right, so tomorrow we have Robert's Rules, we have the Old Pros visiting, and then we have Jennifer Carmarker coming on for the Globe. So looks like a good show tomorrow. So join us then. Have a great day in the Village.
Bye-bye.